welcome to the You Better Get Your Life podcast. This is episode 1. Oh, wrong sound.
No, I like it still.
I like it still too. Let's do it again though, just because this is episode 1 of You Better Get Your Life podcast. And my name is Candace, and a lot of you know me as the Juju Guru. And to the right of me, I have my best girl of all time. This is my gal, Damila. We've been best friends for how long?
I don't want to say the wrong number, but I think like 13.
Wow.
15.
20. Wow. So it's so exciting to be
20
fun.
years?
Bitch, 20 years. You better get your life. So we met in 5th grade when we were 10, and we've been friends since then. We're about to be 30. And this show has been a long time in the making, and there's no one I'd rather be doing it with. I kind of got Damila here under false pretenses, and I said I just needed her support for the day, but we are officially kicking off You Better Get Your Life podcast.
Yes,
Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
Yes, 2 snaps and a spin. So Damila, just like tell us a little bit about yourself for those who don't know.
Hi, I'm Damila. Me and her have been friends for
How many?
20 years.
Period.
I don't want to feel that old. But I just am basically here. You know, she was like, I'm trying to do my podcast. I just need one person here to just go back and forth with. And that's what I, thought. But here I am.
Oh my God. First of all, so Damila's not just my best friend. She is my confidant. She is my Bible. She is my manager. And she's been telling me to do this shit forever.
I have.
And it's so crazy. I found the studio because Damila works right next door, and she told me they had some great opportunities to get this going. So thank you, manager. Here we are. And it's so funny. You said you didn't want to speak about your age. I think, so we're both 29. So 30 is approaching us, and I really feel like it's important to talk about that journey to your 30s and what that looks like, because, girl, it's been a lot.
It has been.
It's been a lot, and it's a very interesting time. It's a very transitional time, and I think a lot of people don't stop to acknowledge, like, one, adulting is ghetto, okay? Adulting is hard, and there's a lot that happens when you're transitioning into these next, years of your life.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but like I feel like I've been like all over the place, and you're my best friend, so you know this. Yeah. But it's just been a lot, like just managing like life and taking care of yourself and work and your future and all those goals that you have for yourself. So this episode, since it's new, I think we should just kind of talk about like where we're at with things and where we want to go. So do you want to talk about what it is that you do for work?
Sure.
Maybe we could start there.
Yeah, I work as a manager for next door to P&T Knitwear, just making sure it's the right one. But I definitely feel you on just like hitting 30 and just making sure career-wise you're in the right space, and you just start kind of, it's like a pre-midlife crisis. We've talked about this, but just making sure that wherever you're at is in line with, your career and where you see yourself going. And you know this already, but I made a little career move that
Speak on it.
Yeah, it wasn't right. I thought I wanted to go somewhere else. Did that for like a month. It just wasn't the right fit, and I'm going to go back to Purple. But I just realized also, when I'm 30, what do I want my life to look like? What kind of free time do I want? What freedom do I want with my job? And yes, it's important about where I'm going with my career, but how does that balance with my life as well?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of the struggle when you get
definitely
older. Especially when you're starting to take your career more seriously and you're dedicating a lot more time than you did when you were younger, which I feel like is happening with both of us.
Yeah, I think my issue is like I'm consumed by the job. Like the job is my husband. The job is like my everything, and that's the problem. Because I love to work. I love to be successful. And I think that's why a big part of our friendship is we have the same career goals, but we get so lost in like chasing that success that we lose ourselves in the process. Yeah. So I work in real estate. I'm with a commercial real estate firm. I work in capital markets. We do like financing for all types of projects. And it sounds so great to say that. It's a very popular company. I love walking in there. It smells like money,
It is, and it's a gorgeous office.
It's a gorgeous
it's beautiful.
office, yes. And I walk in there and I'm like, I earned my place to be here, and this is my big like adult career job, and it's exciting. But I have given I'm finding that I'm giving too much to that, and then I come home and I'm just completely depleted, right? Yeah. I'm not addressing the other areas of my life that need just as much attention. And I can't show up for a job and not show up for myself. So I'm in that really weird space where I'm getting very overwhelmed, right? And I'm kind of spiraling because my job is where all my effort is going. And I've recognized that it's not healthy for me. And I'm very much of a doer. I think we're doers, right? We want to like, yes, I can do that. I can get that done. Yeah. And sometimes we forget to set those boundaries or like really communicate the bandwidth. Like, hey, I can't take that on right now. And I'm learning like, I got to chill the fuck out. Okay.
I feel like also just being a woman of color, you feel like you have a lot more to prove than everybody else.
Absolutely.
And so you want to do, you know.
Absolutely. But like to whose, what's the word?
I don't know.
Well, it's just to my expense. There we go. To my expense. Because God forbid I lost my job tomorrow, like they would replace me. Yeah. You know? And then I think when you're going so hard for a job, you lose sight of those goals that you set for yourself. And it's really quick to fall into that like inconsistency and not having that follow through. Yeah. Like us, right? Like we've created businesses together. We've like had a lot of ideas of things we want to do, and we'll get these really good planning meetings going and we'll lay out all these things, but there's never any follow through. And it's not to shade us, but it's like so much other things are up in the air that we kind of put our shit on the back burner. Yeah. And we have to stop doing that. Yeah. You know, but then it's that mentality like, well, I need to hustle at work so I could get my money up so then I can go do these other things, right? But I think we need to treat our work like our part-time job. And then when we go home, that full-time job starts. Yeah. And it's a lot easier said than done.
I was just about to say the exact same thing. Because when you're at work, I don't know. I know this about you, and I feel like for me too. You want to be the best that you possibly can be. Absolutely. You know you can do more, so you want to do all of that. And then when you get home, you're like, oh wait, yeah, I have this to do and that to do.
Yeah, and I honestly, lately I've just had this spirit of like, I just don't have the same drive that I usually have because work is wearing on me so much. So by the time I get home, I just want to lay my ass down. Yeah, I don't want to do shit. And that's a problem, though, because what happens if I keep that type of behavior and mentality for 5 years? I'm going to look up and ain't shit done. Yeah. You know, so that's not the best option either. So it's just like, how do you, like, balance everything, right? Yeah. How do you take care of yourself, making sure you're being kind to yourself and show up for yourself? Still kill it at work. Still put in these side hustles. It's just like, this adulting shit is crazy. It is. It's really a lot.
It is.
It is. Yeah. And then I'm in school full time and Lord knows why. It's so crazy because I'm very blessed and fortunate to be an intelligent person, and shout out to my mom, Georgette, you the realest. So me going back to school is more of like to prove it to myself. Yeah. And I wanted to do that, but that shit is a lot. And I'm full-time work, full-time school. And it's just like, I'm so close to the finish line that I'm at the burnout period. And it's just really tough. Yeah. It's really tough. And I'm like, well, I'm paying for it, right? So I need to stick to it. But damn, I don't want to do that shit. I don't want to do no homework. I woke up this morning, I had a whole midterm. Didn't know I had a midterm. Studied in 15 minutes. I got an 85 because I'm smart. Like, but still, I wish I was more on top of it, you know?
Yeah. But I think also just making sure that you're not piling too much stuff on top of yourself. Yeah. And making sure that with whatever free time you have, that you're also giving yourself time to like relax and not do homework or work, you know, and just making sure you have that time for you, because it's important and mental health is important, and you can't get any of these things done without making sure your mental is good.
No, absolutely. It's so funny. My brother, Robert Luther King, he asked me.
First of all, he's really like that though.
No, my brother's like Mr. Kumbaya. He gets on my fucking nerves. But he asked me, he's like, do you feel like you're not doing enough? And I feel like that is something that we put on ourselves. Like, yeah, I'm doing this, but I could be doing so much more, because we're capable of a lot, right? But it's like all things in time and not everything at once. And I'm very much like, oh, it needs to be right now. You know, somebody asks for something. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can go here. Yeah, let's jump on this idea. And it's like, whoa. You know, this is too much too soon. And it's really just navigating like what that looks like.
Yeah. And I think you also have to mention like growing up with single moms and seeing the work that they put in, and growing up with not poor, but like, you know, not rich.
Oh yeah, we shopped at Price Mart.
But just, you know, we grew up, I think, also just trying to make sure that we are always financially good.
Yeah.
And that's, I feel like, always at the back of your mind.
Absolutely.
In the back of my head, like,
yeah,
just constantly going hard at work. And that's why those other things on the side also kind of, you know, sometimes fall short, because sometimes you're not getting money from those side things at that moment. It just takes, you have to put in work and you'll receive that later on. But
yeah, just I feel like there's no solution here, and I never want to, like, doing a podcast, I never want to be those preachy people telling people like, well, you need to do this, you need to do that. I feel like we're figuring this shit out.
Yeah, but I think it's important for other women to hear that, hey, they're going through the same struggle I am. Like, it's not weird, or it's not like I'm going crazy, or I'm not doing what the next person is doing. Like, I think it's important for other women to know there's a lot of people going through it. Yeah.
And it's okay to, like, be vocal about it, because I feel like a lot of people get in the habit of comparing, like, oh, well, this person isn't even employed, so, like, I shouldn't be complaining. You have every right to fucking complain. Like, it's a lot, right? No matter where you are and what phase of your life, like, give yourself that grace to get your shit off. Like, yo, I'm stressed out. I'm overwhelmed. Like, I don't feel 100% right now. And once you acknowledge that, like, me and Damila had a whole therapy session a couple of days ago where I finally articulated what it was that was weighing on me. And it was such a relief to just say, like, oh shit, like, I need to take a step back. And enough people don't do that, right? Because we're told to keep our heads down and not complain, especially as women of color.
Yeah.
Especially with single mothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but fuck that. I'm complaining.
Me too.
So that's that. What should we get into? Should we get into love and marriage? Should we get into our past business ventures?
I don't know. What are you feeling?
I want to talk about love. I want to talk about dating. I want to talk about how there's so much piss in the dating pool and how that shit is crazy. So first of all, let's give our little breakdown. Damila, what's your relationship status?
I am in a relationship with someone I've been on and off with for like,
child,
I think 14 years now.
Her number's always off, but yes.
Yeah. That memory's trash. But yeah.
So you've been in this relationship for about 15 years.
Yes.
This is like first love, first everything. Yes, yes.
Yeah, he took my virginity and everything.
Okay, well, we just spilling the tea today, which is fine, right? Because we're grown.
Yeah.
So where do you feel like you're at in your relationship right now? Do you feel like you're making progress? What is some of your goals? What are some areas you feel like can be improved?
Yeah, I feel like we're actually in a good place right now, and that's also because I kind of left my job and we very crazy and time consuming, and I was just dedicating a lot of time to work, not really separating the boundary between work and like after work. But with that space from Purple, we're in a really good place. We're spending a lot more time together. We're communicating more.
Yeah.
And I think the issue is that we're having right now is just, you know, I've been with him on and off since I was 15 years old. I'm 29. And just being on the same page financially and as far as like my long-term goals, that's something that I'm trying to navigate right now with being with somebody who, you know, we grew up together, like we're on different career paths, and just finding the common ground for that. And
it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, especially like with a man, right? Because like not everyone is as receptive to certain things, or you never want to communicate in a way to your partner where it feels like a criticism.
Yeah.
It's just more of like, we're moving into the next phase of our lives and our relationship. So these are kind of the things that we need to, you know, get in order, right? And it's like, how do you do that without, you know, affecting the relationship in a negative way?
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm trying to find right now, just finding the right way to talk about things that are uncomfortable to talk about, but that need to be said. Yeah. You know, you said something earlier, love doesn't pay the bills.
It sure don't.
And that's real. That's real shit. Like, it doesn't. It don't. And you can be, you know, in love with somebody, but at the end of the day, like, I'm not trying to work for the rest of my life. I'm trying to have other forms of income. And I need my partner to be on that same type of time. So just communicating that and working those things out is what, you know, we're kind of figuring out right now.
Yeah. But well, I have faith in you. I love her, man. I mean, I've known her, so I've known him for a long time. That's my boy. I'm not going to name drop. But you know what's up.
And what about you?
Child, I'm single. I've been single for almost 2 years. Isn't that crazy?
Is it 2 years?
It's
I feel like it's
years.
a year.
Nah, time flies.
You weren't single last year.
Yes, I was. I see. We can't name drop. We can't.
She was in like a.
I was in a situation.
Yeah.
But since I've been in an official relationship, it's about to be 2 years, and it's been very interesting. I will say, just being single for 2 years, whether I've had situations or not, has, especially now, been really weighing on me because we're hitting that like 30s, and then that's, you know, when people start thinking like, well, damn, like, am I gonna get married soon? Am I gonna have kids? And with me, like, I've always been independent. I've been on my own since I was 18. But like lately, it's just like it's tough because like I feel so alone, right? But that's because I've like raised my standards of what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to play with nobody right now. I want a husband. You feel me? Like I want a family.
Grown-ass man.
No, I'm not taking care of nobody. Okay. But I think when you start raising your standards and you start setting like, you know, these things for yourself, it gets really lonely. And there's a lot of solitude that comes with raising your standards, and it could be hard. Like I had a weekend, I just drank my wine and I was like, shit, I'm alone. And some days I wonder, like, you know, and here's the thing too, it's not that I don't have options, right?
No.
I got hella options. Let's just be real. But are these options conducive to the type of relationship, lifestyle, marriage that I want? And they're not, right? Yeah. And it's so hard dating nowadays because, I mean, look at the way the world is. Look at these apps, and there's so much accessibility, and I feel like that has shortened and diluted the process of dating. Yeah. And I'm not saying good men don't exist, but child, can the good ones come to the front of the line?
I know. I mean, it's hard to find in New York.
Because where y'all at? I think it's hard anywhere, but especially in New York, there's so many people out here.
Well, I feel like there is so many people out here, and not only just the people who live in New York. Think about like tourists too, and like anybody who's visiting, like. It's a lot going on over here. Yeah. And I feel like you're right. Things are a lot more easy to get.
Well, some things. And I think that's the problem. I think a lot of, and I can't speak for all men, I never generalize, but I think with a lot of men is, you know, there are a lot of women who want to move fast and who are okay, like, speaking on certain things. For me, I'm old fashioned. Like, I want to be courted properly. You know, I just met you yesterday and you already talking about, you know, what the inside of my legs look like or what you want to do to me. It's such a turnoff.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, chivalry seems dead.
Chivalry is very dead.
But there are those, you know, one-offs.
There's one-offs, but it's just so hard now, and I'm trying to use discernment when coming across, you know, men that I meet. It's just like, I'm trying not to lose faith, to be honest. That the quality of man I desire exists, you know? Yeah. And I see men like my brother. He's a good man. Obviously, he's not for me, you know, he's my brother. But I'm just saying, like, I know good men exist, and I'm trying to continue to work on myself to be as great as a woman I can be so I can meet a good man. But, child, this dating shit is ghetto.
I mean,
it's just a lot.
It is. But you have to just keep going and, like, focus on you.
Yeah. I am focusing on me. And there's a thing where, like, you don't want to settle, right? But I feel like sometimes we settle temporarily, right? We settle in the moment just because we're in our field. We get in our fields, right? And, like, you want to see somebody for the night. You want to feel something. So you'll talk to that guy that you know you ain't got no business talking to him, period. He ain't it. He ain't going to come correct, right? But you just want that moment, that something. You want to feel something. Yeah. And I think the sooner we stray away from that and stop inviting those opportunities in, the sooner we'll find the man we're supposed to be with. Yeah. Like, I went on a date with this guy, I think it was a week or two ago, and I didn't even want to go on a date. Did I not call you and say, I don't want to go?
She did.
And I'm like, you know what? Maybe, like, I should go, right? Like, maybe I should be open to this shit. The date was excellent. We went out. We had good food, good talk, good drinks. I smoked him in pool. I played my best game of pool. He didn't get out a ball in 2 minutes. Cleared the table. He was heated. Anyways, after the date, I thought, you know, we was vibing. And then he literally just switched his whole personality. And he just started talking so vulgar, so nasty, like all these things he wanted to do to me. And it was just like, it was just too much.
Yeah.
Too soon.
Yeah.
And who said you could be so comfortable to speak to me in that manner?
I mean,
and,
that's disrespectful.
Bro, like, I'm not even a prude, like, at all. Like, I'm cool. I'm down to earth. But it's like the way he switched, it made it seem like he was pretending to be a certain way just so he can, you know, lower my guard and then lower my panties, which wasn't happening. And it was his level of confidence that he was getting some coochie. Like, how dare you? like you're making a decision, and I hate that expectation now. A guy takes you on a date. It's this expectation of he's getting some at the end of the night. And my thing is, you're not going to put a dollar value on my thing, my snatch. How dare you? So my snatch only worth $120? You feel me?
Yeah.
Because it's not like he took me, you know, to the nicest of the nicest. And even then, I don't care if a nigga spent, I don't know if I can say that. I don't care if he spent $1 million. That doesn't mean I owe you anything, right?
With that being said, what advice would you give somebody who is dating right now? With
Run.
your experience? No, some good advice.
Good advice. See, this is just advice I tell myself, right? You know, good things take time. Follow your instincts and your intuition. Those red flags, child, we make so many excuses for red flags, and we try to, you know, psychoanalyze why a dude's acting weird. Yo, he's acting weird because he's just not interested, or he's not trying to give you the things that you want.
Or he's not it.
Like, he's not it.
Yeah.
Whatever that reason is, ultimately he's not it, right? So why would I continue to invest time and my feelings and my emotions into a dead-end situation? The situation she was talking about last year is somebody that I really thought was going to be my husband or the father of my children. And I put so much into this, and he wasn't it. And a part of me kind of knew that, but I think as women, we romanticize things, and let's just be honest. I can't speak for everybody, but I romanticize things.
So do I.
I build on, or at least in my mind, on potential that I see. And then there's this hope that, well, one day he'll come around, right? And he's given me just enough. But this dude was breadcrumbing me for, I don't know how long. You know, and it's just like the person that I'm meant to be with isn't going to breadcrumb me. I feel like the person I'm meant to be with is going to be sure about me and show me he wants me and show me his plans for the future. It's not so confusing.
Yeah, it shouldn't be confusing.
It should not be confusing. It should not be a guessing game.
No.
Do you want me or not?
And that should be...
It wasn't strong enough. It wasn't strong enough. But do you want me or not? Okay.
You needed the pa-pa-pa.
I know. Okay, we'll work these out in time. We'll have somebody to do all these cute sounds, and we need some custom ones. But needless to say, I feel like with every part of my life right now, I'm still very hopeful, right? I know that things are going to take time. I know that I'm looking forward to my 30s. I don't think 30 is old. I don't think it's a curse. I think with me and you, we just put so much pressure on ourselves because we want to be set up.
Yeah.
Right? And we want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
And I think we're doing great.
Aww.
And we need to pat ourselves on the back more and give ourselves grace because this shit is not easy.
No.
Right? Nothing was handed to us. Me and you got our shit out the mud. You feel me? And we'll continue to do that and continue to build. But I know we're just getting started. Yeah. You feel me? Yeah. We're just at the precipice of what we're meant to obtain. Yeah. For real. So, you know, I've been writing these Post-it notes.
I know. You see them all over?
Yeah, of just different things that I've like thoughts that have come to me when I was in different stages, and the most important one is to let it go. And we need to. This is the first step, though, right? Yeah. Like we need to let go of the things and the people that do not serve us, and it's hard. It's not easy, especially when you've seen things, you know, turning out a certain way in our heads, and it just doesn't go that way. Yeah. What's one thing you need to let go of?
I definitely just my doubts about myself. Yeah. Because I've proven to myself as far as work, personality wise, like in my personal life as well, that I can do certain things. The only thing that's holding me back is my doubt, but I want to let that go. Yeah. And just be confident about whatever I do. And if I'm not feeling confident, fake it. Like, yeah. Because the doubts are just going to kill whatever I'm doing, make me overthink things, and make me do things not as well as I could do them if I wasn't second guessing everything. Absolutely. That's definitely something I want to let go. Just doubting myself. No, for sure. I think I need to let go of my doer personality and trying to be everything to everyone. Not even to everyone, but just
setting those boundaries, like, you know, so I need to let go of my, I guess, appeasing kind of nature sooner than later. Another one that I had was Almost Doesn't Count. And if anyone's ever listened to Brandy, do you know that song?
Which one?
Almost Doesn't Count by Brandy. Yo, Damila gets on my nerves, yo. She don't be knowing shit about music, but then you play the song and then she knows the song all of a sudden.
Yeah, my memory's trash, but I the melody I remember.
Well, I can't sing. But Almost Doesn't Count speaks about like how, you know, almost is not good enough, right? So like if a guy was like, he kind of has the things that we need, or like the job kind of looks good, but it's lacking these few things in it. It could be great. Like that's not enough. Yeah. You know, we need to know up front. Is it good? Is it not? Like almost is not enough. I'm not accepting less than what I require for my happiness, ultimately. Yeah. So that's one I had. Let's see. Follow through. What does follow through mean to you right now?
Something I gotta fucking work. Sorry. Something I have to work on for sure. Yeah. But just making sure that if I plan something or I say I'm going to do something, that I actually do it. And if I don't feel like I'm going to do that, do not say it. Yeah. But just really following through with plans, friends. Yeah. Anything, just going with it, not stopping, like continuing through. Yeah. And I think that's an issue that me and you both have.
Good child. Yeah. You know what? Oh my God, my weave. I think the issue is like we're very ambitious, right? So there's so many things we want to do, but you know that old saying, like you can be a jack of all trades, but a master in none. Yeah. Even though I'd like to be a master in all, but it's just like it has to be segmented. Yeah. You feel me? How can you follow through when you got 10 things on the table? You can't follow through with all that.
So true. Yeah.
So it's just like I think you need to, when it comes to planning, it needs to be a very small step by step kind of process where it's not, you're not taking on too much. Maybe the first goal of the month is just to like write out a basic outline. Yeah. You know, not like, damn, we got to have a whole product package and ready to go by the end of the month and to relax. Yeah. You know, but definitely follow through. And I think when you start following through on things, you follow through for yourself and you kind of just look at things differently. You move differently. Yeah. You know, there's a different pep in your step because you're completing these things that you set out to obtain. And I think that's really successful people in my mind. I think that they have the follow through.
They do. I mean, that's key to being successful.
Yeah. Anybody could come up with an idea. Yeah. But like, hello, who's actually executing? You feel me? So that's something that's super important to me. This is my favorite from Jasmine Sullivan from Hotels. Get it together, bitch. Press the button.
Which one? This one?
Anyone. But it's important to get it together. And that's what You Better Get Your Life is all about. Like, it's no one way to do these things, but it's a matter of like having that intention of like, I do want to get it together, right? And I want to get it right. And I want to get it to a place where I'm happy and I'm in an environment where I feel loved and I feel supported and I feel like I can do these things I set out to do, you know? Yeah. It's easier said than done, but I think you start with that intention.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah. Have you listened to Hotels?
Yeah, I have.
Name 3 songs.
Girls Like Me.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember the other ones, but I listened to it. I loved it. Shut up. I love Jasmine Sullivan.
I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you. Me too. Respect. Quality. These are things that I'm looking for, right? Quality and well, whatever. I'm talking about men. I want a man who's respectful. Yeah. You know, off rip. I want quality in our interactions and the way you treat me because I'm a woman of quality. I'm a woman of substance. You feel me? You know?
I also think thing we talked about before too is like making sure that your man is like you're able to be vulnerable with your man, like you're able to really communicate and not be embarrassed about how you feel or saying certain things. Like if you don't have that vulnerability between both of you, you won't have, you know, a successful relationship.
And it's very hard, right? Yeah. Especially with men of color. Yes. To be vulnerable and for us to be vulnerable, right? Because a lot of us come from traumatic childhoods. And to be able to be a safe space for one another, especially when sometimes, you know, we go back and forth and things get, you know, a little heated. We can't throw that in each other's face. Yeah. And there's so much divide now between men and women. There's a lot of people making podcasts and putting all these false narratives and these crazy ideas in people's head about what it's supposed to look like. But ideally, I want to be vulnerable with my partner, and him being vulnerable doesn't make him less of a man. I respect that so much more, and fill me in. If I know what's up here, then I know how to move with you.
Yeah.
But you're carrying this anger against the world and against all these people because you've been through some shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know what that shit is.
Yeah.
You know, so now I'm internalizing it, and this is why we can't, forge a path forward. Communication is so important.
It is.
It really is.
I have a friend who, she's in, I mean, you know her, but she's in a long-term relationship, and she was having an argument with her man, and her man was just angry that she didn't understand why he was mad. He didn't say why he was mad.
Mm-hmm.
He just assumed. They've been together for like 7-8 years,
mm-hmm.
and he assumed that she should know.
Yeah.
But
is she a fortune teller?
yeah, like it's just like communicate those things. It shouldn't even have to even be a fight. Say why you're angry.
Yeah.
Let that person work on it, or just hear where you're coming from. But people can't read minds. It's so important to communicate.
No, it absolutely is. And that's not a skill that everyone has. But I think the older we get, the more we should work to communicate. But more importantly, we have to be active listeners.
Oh, my God. So
you feel me?
Yeah.
Because a lot of men, they could communicate all day. But did you take in anything I said? Did you apply it? You know, are you putting actionable steps towards the things that I'm asking for to show me we're really communicating on a deeper level?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Say, like, are you listening to understand? Or are you listening to respond?
Period.
Like.
Yeah. And listen, no one is not guilty of this. Women are the same way, right? Not all, because we can't generalize, but it's a human thing, right? And it's very hard for some people to empathize when they're in a place where they feel, like they're spiraling, they're all over the place or whatever. But it's just, we have to make those steps as we get older if we want to live or be in a relationship that's, strong and it grows. And you see those people married for 40 years, they can't be married for 40 years if they don't communicate.
Yeah, facts.
That ain't no marriage, okay? And that's not what I want. One more thing that I want to add as we get older, I think with friendships, we start, evaluating in a different manner than we did before. And you notice the circle's getting smaller, it's getting tighter. And no matter what, this is always going to be my girl right here, period.
Same for me.
But I think we have to have the same way we're like making that discernment with men. We need to make that with friendships.
Yeah.
Some people are just not a friend.
No, they're not.
And history doesn't equate to the things that we require from our friendships. I want you to show up for me. I want you to inquire about where I'm at in my life. It's too many one-sided friendships going on. Yeah. Where you become that dumping zone for somebody to come and just get all their shit off and vent. And when it's time for you to flip the script, people can't pay attention all of a sudden. Now they all over here and they can't give you that same focus, that energy. And I used to let that rock for a long time, but listen, honey, I can't be your therapist.
And your time is important.
Like, my time is valuable.
I'm not going to stand here, listen to you when I have my own shit going on and I have no one to speak to about it when you're standing right here.
Yeah. And they can be standing right there, but are you really like taking in what I'm saying?
That's,
I have friends like that, and I'll talk, and all of a sudden they have no attention span. Yeah. And that's very upsetting to me because you can call me at 4 a.m. I'm going to pick up, I'm going to show up for you. But if you can't do that for me, then I have to keep you at arm's distance or not at all. Yeah. We can't move the same way. Our time is valuable. Our energy is valuable. And I only want to share that with people who can reciprocate and I know genuinely give a fuck about me. Yeah. This girl genuinely gives a fuck about me. And likewise, you feel me? Some people, you've just known them for a long time. Doesn't mean they're your friend.
Facts. So true.
Yeah. So something we just got to, be mindful of. But let's end this on a high note. Okay. This is a great first episode because we're really laying the groundwork of what we want the show to be about. And ultimately, it's about getting your life, right? Mm-hmm. So the year we're in, what month is this?
This is October.
Oh, my Lord.
We're almost at the end.
The year flew. So we're almost at the end of the year. So just tell me, what were some of the highlights of your year?
Okay, so 100%. The Beyonce concert.
We went to see Beyonce.
Oh, my God. It was fucking amazing. I was like on a high for like a month.
Ciao.
Like that. It was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had in my life. The best concert I've been to in my life. The energy was like literally amazing. She can tell you, woke up the next day.
Cozy.
Yes. Like just so happy. But that was definitely a highlight of my summer. And then probably also visiting Italy, went to Venice, went to Greece, but definitely the Beyonce concert. The feeling that shit gave me, the empowerment that I felt after the concert too. Yeah. And just really connected.
I gotta snitch on her real quick because because when Renaissance came out,
I didn't like it.
I was telling her, like, girl, you need to listen to this album. Not for all the hype and stuff, but what she's saying, the messages she's communicating is what we need to hear at this phase in our life. And when I say that album carried me through a lot of last year and most of this year, because I think it speaks to women who, you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
She did not like the album. She was not with it.
And I didn't really listen to it. I will say that. Like, no. I did not listen to it. But before the concert, I had to listen to, like, every single song to try to memorize everything.
Yes, because the opportunity presented itself. And I'm like, bitch, you ain't going to this concert and you don't know the words.
And I learned it. Not every single song, but the main songs. But I really listened to the album, and it was amazing. I really connected with it, yes.
Yes.
And it also made me... like any new albums or any new music, I'm actually taking the time to listen to the lyrics and everything. Yeah. Because I didn't do that with that album. I was just like, oh, this sounds like... And the Drake album had come out right before, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is a lot of like
house music.
No, ballroom music. And I just didn't take the time to listen to the words. But once I did,
I
connected with it. That concert was everything. Her album is everything, like everything that she says, especially like Break My Soul speaks to me right now in this current period of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was amazing. And thank you for that.
Of course. There's nobody I'd rather go to the show, and I hope nobody get any feelings about that. But there's nobody I wanted to go to that concert with more than I wanted to go with you. And I'm so glad that like you were receptive a year later to the album.
I did
and you got it in the concert. We got our fucking lives, and that's what this shit is all about. I saw Usher this year. I went to Paris. I saw Usher, which was amazing. He pointed at me. Usher, I saw you. Okay. Yes.
We'll put the little clip in here too.
No, yeah. It was great. So it's been a good year, despite like, you know, me having my moments of like, you know, being uncertain and I'm feeling overwhelmed. I know I'll move through that. Child, I'm stuttering. I'll push past that. So we have 2 more months left to the year. Tell me, like, how do you want to end the year?
I mean, for me, I know we talked about following through, and you know this. I flake sometimes. But for me, you know, for the end of the year, I really just want to work on those things. The people that I call my friends, I want to follow through.
Yeah.
I want to be there when, you know, they need me, when you need me.
Yeah.
I don't want you to, like, think about, oh, she might not be coming. But my main goal is just making sure that I'm following through with my friendships, with my career, like in every aspect of my life. And even if I don't feel like I have it together, that I'm still moving forward and I'm just going.
Yeah. A lot of the same for me. I think I just want to kind of cut any like dead weight that I'm carrying on my shoulders. I think a lot of it is like I work myself up into this like state of being worried about all the things that I have to juggle, and I need to just kind of like relax and parse it out and push through. So that's where I'm at. I also just want to look at love from a different perspective and still use discernment, but just be receptive and not lose hope and not lose faith, and like just keep requiring more for myself. The last poster that I wanted to end on is the one that I have mine organized like all over, but the one that I kept the highest was raise the bar. And as I go into the next year, I want to raise the fucking bar. I want more. I want it all, and it's still segmented, but I want to raise the bar with everything, with what I require, with what I put out, with what I look like, what I eat. Like everything is better quality, so I can be the better version of myself. That the one you see in your head.
Yes.
I want to see her on the outside, and that's not a physical thing. You feel me? That's the girl that I'm aspiring to be, because I am that girl. Awesome. So I want to thank y'all for watching the first, or listening, however you're streaming the first episode of You Better Get Your Life. Okay. Again, I am Candace, but I go by the Juju Guru.
I'm Damila.
She's acting all sweet. This girl is not all sweet. Okay, we'll get into her tea in the episodes coming. But Damila, I want to thank you for joining me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, and look what we have created. I'm proud of us.
Me too.
Come a long way. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.